Hello friends, welcome to the Ekalavya Universes. Today we are taking up the 14th chapter. This is the third chapter in the third module of the Java chapter zone. This chapter contains wrapper classes and the nested classes. First, I give a briefing about wrapper classes and nested classes. Thereafter, I will give you a detailed explanation about their features and functionalities. In Java programs, we process data. The data can be classified into two types. They are primitive data type and objects. In some situations, we must use objects only, where primitives cannot be used. For example, collections, Java collection classes. Actually, Java has collection framework. For that, Java API provides a big set of classes. Collections means nothing but Java ready-made data structures. These data structures are many, such as array list, stack, linked list, etc. Now, they can deal with only objects. That means they cannot accept primitives. How they are, just I want to show you. Thereafter, I will give a briefing. Now, you know already in one of the chapters, in 7th chapter, we studied about arrays. Arrays takes primitives. This is a mark list. It contains all the marks of a student in 5 papers. This array deals with primitives. That means arrays are two types. One type of array, they have primitives as their elements. Other one is array of references. Array of references, the best example is string. Already in command line arguments I explained the mains argument, string args, that is array of references. Now, I amply explained, many times I explained about it. This is array of references. Now, you see these 4 names, this is a team. There are 4 names, team members. Now, actually these are string objects. Array does not hold the objects directly. What it is having? It is having the references as its elements. Now, you see the references are the elements of an array. This is what we call array of references. Actually, why I am telling about this, you must remember that in collections, all the data structures are like this only. They cannot hold primitives like this. Only array of primitives can hold like that. Remaining all collection framework data structures hold the objects like this. Then you have to suppose you have to give some integer value 10. Then you have to give like this only. That means like this you cannot give. So, in such case what should be done? Here 10, suppose here 10 is there, let us say the 10 is an independent primitive, on that any operations can be done, but it is not like that. It is wrapped. Now, 10 is wrapped like this and it is made as an object. So, for this purpose, especially for this purpose, Java collections purpose, now primitives should be converted as objects. For that purpose, for converting primitive types into objects, classes are required. Those set of classes are called wrapper classes. For all primitive types, all 8 primitive types, the corresponding wrapper classes are created. Wrapper class, their purpose is that. So, once a class is created, what should be done? actually a primitive should be wrapped, initialized. For that purpose, a constructor is required. Thereafter, it should be unwrapped. For that purpose, conversion methods, parsing methods are required. And apart from that, whatever data it holds, the type should be final, it should not be changed. So, that also are to be created. So, in a wrapper class, final immutable data type of the corresponding type, constructor, conversion methods, etc. will be there. Those are all called wrapper classes, set of wrapper classes. For all 8 primitive types, the corresponding wrapper classes are provided by the Java. In the chapter, mainly you focus on that. Once you learn that, thereafter you can see the applications of these wrapper classes in collections. That is the last chapter of the core Java in our course. So, that is all about wrapper classes. Thereafter, nested classes. In the one of the previous chapters, I explained about the list of elements in a class definition. They are instance variables, instance methods, static variables, static methods, constructors, instance initializer blocks, static initializer blocks, and nested classes. So, at the time I did not explain about the nested classes. Now, this is the time in this chapter we study about the nested classes. Just here I give a briefing. Actually, from real life, if you see, there is an organization. Let us take one college. College is one type of organization. They undertake certain types of operations relating to education. Now, you can find a canteen in every college. Canteen is a different, is a catering business. It is a different type of business, but that canteen will be made part and parcel of the college. It provides one integrated services to all the students and staff members. So, what happens? College is one type of college undertake one type of organizations, and canteen provides other type of services, which is made as part of the college. Then it will be comfortable. If it is not done, that means canteen is not provided in the college. What is the inconvenience and all that, I need not explain to you. So, in certain cases like that, for the sake of integrity, convenience and all that, in some cases what happens, within a class definition, we have to define another class definition. That means, another class definition is embedded in a class definition. It is like that. Suppose this class, this is the main class, this is outer class. This is like, let us say, one college. Okay. In that, for the sake of integrity and many other benefits, one more class is defined as inner. This is also a class, but is inner class. Now, you remember this example. This is a college. This is a canteen. Okay, like that. It is an organization. It is having its own set of operations. Now, if you consider this class, inner class, is enjoying dual status. One is, by itself it is a class. And at the same time, it is also treated as a member of the class, member of the outer class. So, one way we have to treat it as a class, other way we have to treat it as a member of the class. And one more important point I have to tell you, that as far as fields are concerned, you can find two types of fields. What is that? Instance fields and static fields are instant members and static members. Here it is a member. Being a member, it also can be instance member and static member. This class being in the status of a member, it will be an instance member and the static member. So, for the sake of identification, here instant inner classes are called inner classes. Static inner classes are called nested classes. Actually, for the sake of convenience, both are inner classes only. So, once again you remember that static inner classes are called nested classes and instance inner classes are called inner classes. That is the difference you have to find out. So, in this chapter we focus on these nested, simply we call as nested classes and their features and functionalities and how they make the coding simple and how they provide readability to our programs we can understand in this chapter.